Hello, hello, hello. We are live. BRUNO GAMA here, founder of the Dads on Fire project. Guys, welcome. It has been a long time. It's crazy. Like life got so busy and baby and all of this stuff and traveling that we haven't had an interview on quite a long time. But I've been actually right now. I am in Brazil. So go to nightclubs and have amazing food, which some people want, right? But if you're really trying to relax, I would highly recommend you to actually check it out. My hometown, which is Florianopolis. Again, Florianopolis. You gotta go to the city. Seriously, it's beautiful, but make sure that you go between December and March. That's when the summertime, so that you can actually enjoy nature. So, like I was mentioned before, we are here in Brazil, and we just went to the doctor today and to see how Moana is doing, and it's crazy. Like she grows so fast. I can't believe it. She's already eating banana and papaya. Yesterday she ate papaya for the first time, and it's just like unbelievable how things go so fast. And one more thing here, guys, before I bring our guest today, is during this time when I was here in Brazil, the last pretty much 3 weeks, I've been really working hard into a special free, okay, totally for free masterclass for dads over 30, where I just took everything that I know and I put into this 39 minutes presentation where I share the Dads on Fire system. Really, like everything that I know, I put all my efforts, all my hearts into this presentation. So if you want to know much more about this, you can go to brazilianhealthnuts.com and check it out totally for free. All right. So let's go. I think my guest is here already. He's ready to rock and roll. I'm super excited to talk to him because this guy really he's funny and he has an amazing book that we are actually going to be talking more, and you guys should all check it out if you haven't read yet. His name is Clint, okay, Clint Edwards, and he runs a blog called No Idea What I'm Doing, okay, a daddy blog. So Clint, are you here, brother?
I'm here. Talk to me, Bruno.
How are you doing, man?
I'm good. It's kind of cool that I'm talking to you in Brazil.
Yeah,
I'm here in Oregon right now.
yeah, it's pretty cool, the power of the internet, how amazing this is. So the first question that I have for you, Clint, before anything else, do you still have no idea about what you're doing, man?
The whole blog, no idea what I'm doing. That title came as it was kind of tongue in cheek thing because I didn't have a father around when I was a kid. My dad was he had a lot of he was an early victim of the opioid epidemic, so I didn't know him very well, and so that's why I started naming it that way. It was like no idea what I'm doing because I felt really lost, and I still feel really lost. I think if you're a parent and you think you've got it all figured out, you're wrong. Because every time you think you figure out your kids, they change and they move around and do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's actually start with your father, man. So you mentioned here, if I'm not mistaken, he left when you were 9. Can you just share a little bit more about your father?
My dad, from my understanding, he was a pretty good guy until he had a few back-to-back surgeries and he got completely addicted to Vicodin and other painkillers. And so that happened when I was like, he left when I was 9. He started getting addicted to stuff when I was 8. And so most of my childhood, he was in and out of jail. He was introducing me to new women because, they'd try and get him straightened out, and then he would leave. I didn't know him. I mean, I don't know. He had a lot of different sides to him. He had a lot of secrets, a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah.
Some of the best relationship I had with him was when he was in jail.
Wow. So do you have contact with your father? Is he still around?
No, he died. He died when I was 19. He died from his addictions. Actually, that was one of the harder parts of my childhood was cleaning out his apartment. He would move around, go from one apartment to another, and basically we just pulled out a bunch of pills and mattress on the floor, kind of a thing.
Wow. So Clint, you really never had your father around you for like a long time, right? Until you were 9. So what is like the importance of a dad in the life of a child when growing up?
Well, I don't know if I can fully answer that. I know I felt like a lot of void because my dad wasn't around. I missed him. I would have liked to have had. I was envious of other people's dads. I would latch on to other people's dads, follow them around a lot. But I know with my kids right now, I know that they are getting a better childhood than I had. That's without a doubt. Much more stable, not as much moving around. They know that I'm there and I love them. And I think that's super important, man, to be like, one of the best things I can tell kids or parents is to be like, to make love a verb. Like love needs to be an action. You need to be showing all the time that you love your kids and showing them that you care about them. And if you're not, I don't know, man, they'll know. They'll question it. They'll question themselves. They'll feel pretty lost.
Yeah, that's so true. I was actually listening to a podcast a few weeks ago from Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you know this guy, but super, super amazing guy. And he was talking the whole podcast with another, like an interview actually, talking about the importance of the dad's figure, the dad's role into the child's development, really. And it's unbelievable. I didn't know there were so many people in the world without their father. The kids doesn't have this father presence during the childhood of the kids, the kids' development, which is, shapes the life of these kids later on when he becomes an adult, right? So, Clint, what is like your approach now to become a better father every day? You didn't really have your father presence in your own life, so how do you do that? Like, how do you become a better father?
I don't know, Bruno. Like I'm as lost as anybody else. Listen, man, like my kids are really cool and they're really fun, but I have no idea how to understand them. Like I can't like my 4-year-old is just a wild animal. I love her, but I can barely keep up with her, and it's everything I can do to understand her. And then I got this 9-year-old girl who's just snarky, and she's cute, but she really is opinionated. And she lies a lot about stupid things like brushing her teeth. And I just don't want her teeth to rot out of her head. But I got to love her and try to figure that out. And my 11-year-old is like a preteen, super emotional, aches everything. Everything I do, I'm like, dude, put the potato chips away. And because you ate some, so put them away. And he looks at me like I did a hate crime. So you got to, I don't know what I do. I know that I like the best thing I ever did for my kids and me as a father was to sit down and like start writing about being a dad and trying to understand it. That made a lot of sense and really reflecting on it. But for the most part, like it's a day in and day thing out. So much of being a father is really being there and engaging with your kids and caring about them and trying to answer that question, trying to understand how to be a father. And if you continue to try and to see yourself as like a valuable and important part of your life, your kids will get it. Your kids will see it and they'll understand it. I mean, they're still going to frustrate the crap out of you because that's what kids do, but they'll know you're there.
Awesome answer, because you told me on the beginning you're still not sure what you're doing, so it's all good.
Awesome. It's all right, man. Like I think a lot of parents, like I have dads that will come to me and they'll get in the comment section on my posts and they'll be like, "Let me tell you what you're doing wrong," and I'm like, "Dude, no." Like you have no more answers than anybody else because we're all winging it.
Yeah, absolutely. JT Sokol, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name, brother, but he said, "Dude, I bought your book. Gonna write you a review when done reading." Yes, you should do that.
JT, I like you, JT. JT's a good guy.
Awesome. So the next question that I have for you, Clint, you have 3 kids, like you just mentioned, right?
I do.
And probably very busy, I assume.
Sure, yeah. Correct? Well, a lot of people think I write for a living, but that would be incorrect. If I wrote for a living, I would probably be on the streets living off the income that I make writing. I have a good tan, no shoes. But so I do have a full-time job. I work at a university. And I am busy taking care of my kids and trying to keep up this whole part-time writerly thing.
Okay. Got it. So yeah, you're very, very busy, of course. So what is your best advice, Clint, for busy dads? I think every dad that I talk to, everybody's busy these days, right? to
Yeah.
manage like this crazy lifestyle that we have as a busy dad, a busy parent, and we have wives. Most of us, we have wives. So what is like? How do you manage this crazy lifestyle that we have?
I don't.
I
I
love your
don't
answers.
manage it very well. I don't sleep as much as I should. I don't. I always feel like I always feel like I'm torn between wanting to spend time with my kids and trying to get sleep and trying to have a normal life. I feel like I cram my adult life between the hours of like 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. That's my entire adult lifetime, and everything else is revolves around my kids and work and writing and taking care of my family. So I don't think I feel like I'm always behind. I feel like I'm always missing something. I feel like I'm always missing something with my kids. So I don't know. I don't manage it very well. Like if you don't feel like you manage it very well, you probably. I mean, if you do feel like, I mean, let me know. If Bruno, you got it. Do you feel like you're managing it?
Yeah, I feel like it's a daily struggle to strive to manage. Like I'm
Yeah.
always striving to become better, and like you mentioned, it's always adjustments, and yeah, it's a constant learning process, I
See,
believe.
this is why you can't have me come on and be an expert. I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at being the
No,
expert.
no,
I
that's
don't.
great. That's what we really want. Like everybody who listens to this podcast, they are just ordinary dads like you, like me. That's the life of a dad, man. So thank you for your honest answers. I love that. So Clint, a lot of us, we want to change something. Maybe our health is not where it is. Maybe we want to make more money. We want to change our careers, improve our relationship with people. Whatever it is, we always is striving for some certain types of change in our life. Can you share what you learned about change when your wife became a vegetarian?
So this is a chapter of my book. My wife, she became a vegetarian, and it was very hard for me to accept. I was raised on a beef farm, right? Like I mean, beef was a big part of my childhood. I remember getting a car and my first barbecue around the same time, and I saw them as equally significant. Um,
Yes.
so that was a big deal, and I struggled when she became vegetarian, and she eventually. Now I'm basically a vegetarian. I lost a bunch of weight, and I think with change, with her becoming vegetarian, like I took it personal. I was like, you can't do this. You can't change the deal. Like 6 years into the marriage, but she did, and now I've become a vegetarian, and it's better. My health is better. My cholesterol is better. So it's kind of funny how that works out. But that's what's going to happen. Like if you think the person that you married is going to stay that person forever, you're wrong. And if you think that you're going to stay the same person that married your spouse, or you're not going to change, you're wrong. And so marriage is all about compromise and anticipating that the person that you marry is going to change, and they're going to be somebody different. Their bodies are going to change. They're going to get all like in their 30s and lopsided and goofy and shit. And that's just what it's going to happen. And you have to accept that, and you have to embrace the change. And that was one of the harder ones, was when she became a vegetarian. And I guess, I mean, we get along now. I eat a lot of quinoa.
Right. So, but on the beginning, it was hard.
Yeah, it was rough. I tried to convince her. I spent hours trying to convince her to not. I would like cook bacon like around the house, like try and get her to smell it. You know, it was like, and then she ate the bacon. I thought that it was over, but she just told me sometimes she's gonna eat bacon.
That's funny, man. That's funny. So let's change a little bit of the subject here. Let's talk about sex. You have a chapter in your book.
Gosh, can we? Yeah.
You have a chapter in your book where you say sex is not an obligation. Can you share with us more about this, Clint?
Well, I mean, I think there are men that go into marriage. I know I did that. That there's this kind of understanding that sex, like you're married, and sex is something that's obligated, and it's not. Like everybody's got their own opinion and their own comment on it, and it's a compromise sort of thing. And I don't. I think so much, especially when you have young kids. It's not that. I don't know. It's not that like my wife didn't want to. We had a lot going on, and we just didn't have the time. And there's so much going on. It's so many conflicting factors. And to think that if a man goes into marriage and they think that they're owed sex, they really should put the brakes on and realize that this is a two-party thing, and you need to have better conversations.
Mm.
And that's what that chapter is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any like tips to strengthen this bond between husband and wife? What are some of the, like, do you have any routine and activities that you have with your wife that to make sure that the bond is really strong and you guys are always having fun? How do you guys handle the
Always
day-to-day
having
life?
fun? Bruno, what kind of marriage you got? Always having fun? Nah, man. We don't. I mean, we have fun. We talk, we laugh, but we argue just like any other couple. I think, I don't know, man. So much of it comes down to the same thing with your kids. You gotta make love a verb. Like if love is a verb and you're making it an action, you'll be all right. It's gotta be I love you text. It's gotta be, you gotta figure out, like just a little while ago, I wrote a post about this where I took my wife and I came home and she is home for the summer because she teaches. And she's like, and I said, I'm just tired. I had a long day at work and we were supposed to go out. And I said, I just don't have the energy to go out. And she's like, I don't really have the energy to stay in. So we need to go out. And it was one of those moments where I needed to sit down and think about her situation. She was thinking about my situation and we were trying to figure out a compromise. And it's good to sit down and listen. And when I say listen, that means really listen. That means like understand and take a lot of that personal feelings in your heart and those feelings that like you worry that you're doing something wrong and just kind of push it aside and really listen. And that makes a difference. So when my wife said that, I was like, oh, I really need to listen. Or like there's a chapter in my book where she was explaining how, or at least I'm pretty sure it's in the book. I wrote an essay about it where she was telling me that she needed time to just not be touched, right? Because she got kids climbing on them and tugging on her all the time. And it was something I could not comprehend because, I mean, like I am not the coolest person in the house. Like half the time, like my kids will get hurt and I'll like open my arms. I'm like, come to me. And they will just beeline around me and go, Mom. And they always want Mom. They're always clawing on her. And the thought that she wanted some time to not be touched and not be touched by me, not be touched by anybody. I couldn't comprehend it. But once she explained it to me, I started to understand it. And that's what it looks like. That's the real listening. That's like taking a pause and saying, no, maybe the reason she's telling me not to touch her is a very good, valid reason. And it doesn't really even have anything to do with me. And I think those sorts of moments where you just pause and listen make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Like listening, and it's so hard, especially nowadays with all these distractions that we have, social media and all of that stuff. And I like to listen to a lot of podcasts. And me and my wife, we go on a walk. So like pretty much almost every day we try to go on a walk. And sometimes I listen to the podcast, but I start to realize that I was missing something when I was just listening to the podcast. I was not really present with her, so we really didn't have that time to bond and to enjoy it. So I just stopped doing that. At least half of the walk I take just to be with her without any distractions and no podcasts or anything like that. Just
wait. So you guys are going on a walk, just the two of you, and you have your headphones on?
Yes,
Bruno.
I know.
No. You need to leave that at home. That's you need to listen. That's a great time.
That's what I've been. That's what I've been realizing, man. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. Wow. Tell your wife. I told her to. You're welcome. You can't do that. You need to listen. You guys need to talk.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, how many? You got one kid? You got one little.
Yes,
little...
just one so far.
Yeah, dude. And once they get older, they're gonna talk all the time. You never even have a minute. You gotta savor it. You gotta savor this time to push that kid around and talk to your wife.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the reminder, man. Appreciate it. I will tell her you told me this. What about sleep, Clint? You mentioned just a few moments ago that you really not sleeping much, but you say on the book though that sleep is currency in marriage. Tell us more about this.
Well, I mean, with kids, right? Sleep is like a black market item. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants to sleep. My kids keep us up all hours of the night to tell us about their socks coming off, or needing a drink of water, or who knows what, or refuse. Like I want my daughter to be like the kind of person that I could say, yeah, she persisted, but I don't necessarily need her to persist at every bedtime. Yeah, sleep with it can bargain. You can bargain anything for sleep in a marriage. Anything from manual labor to sex. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, definitely. There is, well, several classes actually that we have inside of the Dads on Fire where we really focus on how to sleep better, the importance, the why, and all of that, so that people really start to value. And unfortunately, in the society that we live in nowadays, we don't really value sleep anymore. In fact, there is research showing that Americans have been sleeping 1 hour and a half less than what they used to sleep, and there is several reasons for that. However, the point is that we still have the same genes. Still have the same genetic that requires good quality sleep on a regular basis. So if we don't really understand that and we don't honor that, our body is going to be suffering either we want or not. And of course, you have, like right now, I have a 5 months daughter, and we don't sleep much as we used to. Of course, that's not normal. But I'm saying in general, after going through this, the beginning process of having a child and all of that stuff. Anyway, that's it for sleep here. Let me ask you this, Clint. You say that there is a chapter in your book, I remember. You said that it took you 11 years. 11 years, man. What the hell? To realize how amazing your wife looks. What the hell, man? 11 years?
Well, wait. Hold on. It's how amazing she looked in a nice restaurant. Okay, so I knew she was very good looking. I still think she is the most beautiful person. Period. I love my wife. I think she's gorgeous. I kind of sound like Donald Trump right now. She's great. Perfect. But what I will say is, we got married and I started college right after that. And then I was in college for like almost a decade to get through it all. And
Right.
So a nice meal for us was like the Olive Garden, which is really like, it's like the IHOP of Italian. I mean, it's good. No one ever turns it down, but it's not that great of a place. And so when we would go out, we'd go to like IHOP or Applebee's because that's really what we could afford. And then when we could afford better, we just didn't. And I didn't even, it wasn't even in my thought process. And then we went on this cruise and we stayed and we it was like this big deal for us. And we ate in this beautiful place on the cruise ship, and we were all dressed up, and the food was good, and there was like a live band going on playing like string acoustic versions of different like contemporary songs, and she just looked gorgeous. Like the Atlantic Ocean is out behind her, and the sun was setting, and I just remember thinking to myself, man, what have I been doing? Like I should be taking this woman out to the best places, the most beautiful places. And I don't know why. I just never, and I was with my dad being gone stuff, I was a poor kid. You know what I mean? Like we didn't go out to eat. Like Applebee's was like, whoa, that's a big deal. I don't even think I went to Olive Garden until I was in my 20s. So it was a lot of it was a cultural shift. But yeah, I had to say, whoa, I had to, pump the brakes, man. Like my wife looks really pretty in this environment. And so, yeah, we go out to nice places now. I mean, not all the time. It's like when we can get a sitter and when we can afford it. But I mean, if you're not taking your wife someplace beautiful, you're really missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, man. You also have a chapter, Clint, about that you say you thought that you were a good father until you took your toddler shopping. What happened that day?
Yeah, that's a popular chapter. So Mel and I kind of switched some things up a little bit, and I ended up taking Aspen, she was 2, almost 3, toddler shopping every weekend, just myself, right? And I got a little cocky. I'm like, I can do this. You know what I mean? Like I've taken all 3 kids myself. Like I can take her shopping. But I mean, she's just a psychopath. Like she is so funny and so cute, but she's just like what I call her, like a wild raccoon on a pot of coffee. And she's just grabbing stuff. She's like getting out of the strap like crazy. And Mel tried to give me some advice, and I'm like, nah, I got this. She's like, bribe her. And I'm like, no, that's terrible parenting. I'm not going to bribe the kid to be good at the store. That goes against everything. And then eventually I caved after she broke a lot of spaghetti and some energy drinks and had some embarrassing moments. And it worked out great once I started giving her treats halfway through the store and giving her cookies up the bakery. It worked out. It worked out a little better. It was a little better when I took my wife's advice and I realized that I needed to listen to her and I needed to take things a little different angle.
Yeah, absolutely. Clint, how long do you have your blog for, man?
Oh, geez, I don't know. So the thing with the blog is, I opened it up. It was originally part of like a college thing, like to
Okay.
create a blog, and then I didn't do anything with it for years. And then I think it was probably 4 years ago. I started writing on it again and started writing about my kids and rebranded it. And that was a big deal. It started to take off that 1 year that I said, hey, I'm going to write every I decided I'm going to write on this thing 5 days a week for a year, and I'm just going to see what happens. By the end of that year, I've written for the New York Times and I've written for the Washington Post, and I've been on Good Morning America. It was pretty cool. So it's been kind of up and down ever since. But yeah, probably 4 years, something like that.
Cool. So, what's some of the lessons that you learn? I mean, there is probably many, but a few that you would like to share with us since you start the blog.
Lessons about parenting or about
Yeah,
blogging?
about parenting.
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, stuff that I've learned is, you can have a messy house and still have really happy kids, and you can have a messy house and it's not anybody's fault. It's just what happens, and that doesn't mean that anybody's done anything wrong. One of the best things you can do as a couple is to not look at who should be doing something based on like an antiquated gender role, but who's best at doing it. And so, for example, like my wife takes care of the budget because I was an English major, and if I did take care of the budget, we'd be screwed. We would lose all of our money. But at the same time, like I do a lot of laundry. If you're more willing to flip the script, your marriage is gonna last longer. It's gonna be better. Those are some of the things that I've learned. Yeah, I mean, listen to your family, listen to your kids, and always expect the unexpected. Like I can't count how many times I've been like in the McDonald's drive-thru and suddenly my kids are asking me questions about puberty. So you just don't know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Clint, if you can say one thing here for the dads listening right now who wants to have a better life, who wants to have the dads on fire life here, what would you say, like one thing to this dad?
Love the mother of your children. Even if you're not with them, respect that position, respect who they are. And if you are with the mother of your children, that's great. You got to love her more than anything in the world. If you can show real love through the person that you're with, I think it pays a lot of dividends with the kids, and it'll help you out a lot.
Beautiful, beautiful message. Yes. So, Clint, do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to share with us before I ask you where people can find you more about you?
I don't think so. I think I'm good. I think all my wisdom has been given here in this 1 hour podcast.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, if people want to know more about your work, where should people go to? Is the blog the best spot to go?
Yeah, I mean, sure. No, not really. I don't really do like people don't really go websites all that much anymore. If you really want to keep up with me, Facebook is a really good place to do it. So, no idea what I'm doing in Daddy Blog on Facebook. Instagram, I do a lot on Instagram, which is no idea Daddy Blog. And then, geez, man, buy my book. The book is it's called "I'm Sorry, Love Your Husband." It's out now. You can find it in bookstores. You can find it online. I think it's a great book. I think people are enjoying it. I got a lot of couples reading it, and they're saying that they're reading it together or they're reading it out loud to each other, and that's cool. I love that. And they are laughing and then having good conversations about their marriage, and good conversations about their children. And if I can help couples and help families with this book, I'm down. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely you are, man. So you guys who are listening, watching us right now, go get his book. Go check it out. His Facebook channel, his blog, all of his stuff is really funny and really great. Highly recommended. Clint, thank you so much, brother, for coming. I super appreciate your time and all your expertise.
Yeah, anytime, man. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And for people listening, watching us right now, you can always go to BrazilianHealthNuts.com to check it out. all the notes and all of that good stuff. And there is a free training for dads as well there. And I will see you on the next one. Until then, make sure to take action so that you can become a dad on fire. I talk to you soon. Peace.